Thank you for joining in. Good to have you here today. Today is the 9th day of September 2023. And of course, today is Saturday, the last day of the week. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast right now. And I say compliments of the weekend to you, my people, good people of Biafra, those who are standing on the path of truth and those who have decided to speak the truth, nothing but the truth. I want to welcome you live here on the program. It's a special day and it's a special one too for us all. And of course, it is important for us to acknowledge that we are set to, do the right thing. I believe that we are set to do the right thing. And today's program, anyways, is going to be very, 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 very deep in thoughts and actions and all of that. We are going to be looking critically at some, we're going to do some brainstorming today. And if you want to call in, of course, I'm going to put on the phone. I'm going to get it on so that you can, for those who want to call in or say some stuff, you can call in. Today is Saturday, so we are free to speak our minds. This is our country, Biafra. And so we have to just do what we have to do, to make sure that we get things right. Please just bear with me. I have to just close the video and then, of course, for 1 minute so that I can, because this phone that is supposed to receive calls is down, but anyhow it is. Let's go on. I want to welcome you guys. I want to welcome you all to this program today. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and of course, I'm your host. At the same time, I am also your Biafran, citizen of Biafra. At the same time, also a servant of Chukwokike, doing the work that he has sent us to do. It is important for us to look deeply into what we represent and what we stand for, especially when it seems like things around us are not going the way they are supposed to go, and especially when it's as if you look forward and it seems as if nothing is working. It seems as if it's not going to work because we keep running around in circles. But of course, in everything that we do, there's always a standard to reorganize, and then of course there's always a standard to reset our program or our minds so that we can do the right thing. I want to welcome you to this program today. So as you join in, please like this video, share on all your social media platforms. It's very, very important because we're going to be saying some critical things today that concerns you and I, and very, very importantly too, and we shall be discussing all of those facts. I want to thank you all. I know that most of us are busy today being the weekend, busy with one thing or the other, busy all around, but anyhow it is. I still say thank you for joining on this platform, Biafra Global Network, and good to have you. Now, I want to begin with saying this to us. It is time we begin to retrace or reassess the plans we have on ground connected to our freedom. Not every activity, not every business, not every activity really means that you are moving forward. I have heard stories like someone says, you see, with the kind of weapons we're buying now, we're buying weapons of so millions and so millions and so millions. That doesn't mean you're moving forward. What makes you know that you are moving forward is the structure you have on ground to fulfill or achieve your purpose. Every purpose comes with a plan. And every plan is organized, designed by people who have foresight, insight, and hindsight. If you think that you can just have a mindset of what you want to achieve and then you start executing anyhow, especially when it has something critical to do with your life, the life of people, the life of a nation, then you are planning to fail. It is very, very important for us to understand that critical planning gives you an edge, especially when you are dealing with a very witty enemy, a very smart enemy like Nigeria, enemy like Britain, enemy like the nations that joined in bombarding Biafra during 1967 and 1970 war. against Biafra, genocidal war against Biafra, enemies like that. When you have critical enemies, you must understand that your plan and your strategy must be top notch. You can't be thinking of getting freedom from a nation like Britain and using the proxy, who have been using the proxy in Nigeria to keep you in bondage. And you think you just do it anyhow and get results. It's not possible. These are smart people. These are smart people. These are smart people, intellectuals, academicians, intellectuals, and smart. Britain is a very smart nation. I'm telling you, whether we like them or not, they are very smart. And if you want to do anything to free yourself from them, you must be very, very smart. Thank you so much, Ego. Good to have you, my comrade. Thank you for joining. And of course, everyone who is joining, like the video, share on all social media platforms you belong so that the people can be part of this and also get the message. You can't talk about freeing yourself from the claws of Britain and you want to do it anyhow. It is not possible. You'll keep dancing around, making noise, and you'll keep still remaining. In fact, you'll keep entangling yourself more in their grip. You keep entangling yourself more in their grip. It's just like when the snake, the python, or the python family, the anaconda and all of that have held, is holding, is holding its prey. When it has coiled around it, the more you continue to struggle, the more it strangles you. You know why? Because your struggling is only a sign to it that you want to free yourself. And that struggling, when it has no fundament, or when it has no when it cannot be compared to the strength of that cobra, that struggle will keep you losing your life gradually and faster too. So when you want to free yourself, when you're struggling to free yourself, you must make sure that you have the facilities. It's just like when you when you are caught by some kind of animal and you have geared yourself with some materials and some stuff that would actually poison or cut the snake or harm it. And so when it tries to coil around you, that thing is cutting it. It's just like when you put a knife and then a snake coils around the knife and trying to strangle the knife, and the knife is cutting it and strangling it is cutting it. That is when you have an edge. You don't struggle against a nation like Britain and you are doing it anyhow. No plan, no strategy. You just go and buy weapons, just come and showcase the weapons on social media, just come and start telling everybody how you are doing this, how you are doing this, and how you are doing the water. You are just joking. Britain will keep looking at you. When they see your weapon, they know what you have. When they see what you buy, they know what you have. They go into planning and continually review it to know how best to go about the implementation. These are the things our people don't take earnestly. Yes, that's the truth. Our people don't think about reviews and all of that. And you are going against an enemy like Britain. You are not well geared. You're not well padded. You are not well arranged and planned and well organized. No, you are not. You are joking. You are joking. Britain is not a walk, a walkover. There's some, when you go to football, when you go into football, the game football or any match, there are people who can be a walkover. And there are some people you have to take very seriously. Even the one you think is a walkover, you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. Like the Fulanis, they're not a walkover. They're not a walkover. They have been made formidable by the British. The British have given them the skill and the strategy to hold you. That is why we are talking about structure in our Biafra project. We are talking about a balanced, sophisticated, innovative structure. Not the usual thing that have been on. I tell you, we can, if you like, buy the whole weapons. You can never get Biafra in this way. We need structure. We need a very organized structure. Western world knows the power of planning, implementation, and evaluation to know their strength and success. They know our strength already because all we do on social media is to showcase what we think we have and try to brag. We are braggarts. Biafrans are naturally braggarts. We want to show off. Check it out. Those ones who travel abroad when they want to come back to the zoo, to their fatherland anyways, or to Biafra land. Let's not call it zoo because it's not part of Nigeria. So Biafra land, when they want to come back to their family members, you see them, they want to show off. They want to buy sophisticated cars. They want to buy some stuff. The monies they have saved and saved and saved and saved abroad, working hard, doing some odd jobs to save. They want to show off. They just come, they buy some stuff. They want to show. I mean, and you know, one thing Mazi Nnamdi said one particular time, and I believe it. And one thing I've also discovered is this, that the reason why most people don't want freedom for their people is because they need people they will always want to suppress with their own ego or their egocentric behavior or their own wealth they make from abroad. So they want to go abroad and be the star in that family. So when they come, everybody's looking forward to having them. Everybody wants to run around them and dance around them and then praise them and hail them. And they call people like all these musicians to sing their praises and all of that, call some of the comedians to use them for advertise their birthday, advertise their parties, advertise things about them. These are all the attitudes of our people, and that's why they keep betraying from abroad. Especially those in abroad are the most betrayers. Those abroad are the most betrayers. Those in the US, those in other parts of the world are the most betrayers. They betray more than the people in the land. The people in the land need freedom, and sometimes you see them misbehave is because of their stupidity and arrogance and ignorance. Now, some of them are being manipulated by those abroad who claim to, who would always promise them something, promise them so that they will betray. So they fall into the trap of the betrayal based on the fact that they want to save their stomach or serve their stomach. And that has been this attitude. And when such kinds of people travel abroad, you'll see them now. They want to oppress those ones in the house, in the village. They want to be the ones on top. They want to be the ones, brother, we need this. Auntie, we need this. Uncle, we need this. Hey, I want to be the house in the village. I want you to stay there. Hey, go and do this in the village for me. Go and do that business. Go and find out what you have to do, blah, blah. They want to be the one commanding the show and saying some stuff. That is why our people are not serious about Biafra restoration and freedom. When you want to bring a strategy that will bring it faster, they say no. They want it to be the normal way where they will be extorting from the people in Biafra land, having family meetings every time and having their dues, raising their dues, forwarding to the headquarters, and then they keep using the money for their selfish ends, enriching themselves. And then when they come back, they want to dance around and move around in big cars. And of course, some of them are planning this December to come around. That's how it has been. And so the issue of freedom to them is, okay, we'll fight, we'll get the freedom, but let me enjoy my time first. Those who will do it will do it. So they have to sell they have to sell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They have to put him where he is because they felt he was going outside. Even after creating ESN, they now see the reality of Biafra in front of them. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu raised the dragon flag, they now saw the reality that Biafra was closer than they thought. They thought about how they're going to lose the monies, the criminalities, the things they brag about, the things they expect to get from Biafra land, all the dues and all of that will end once Biafra comes, and then we'll now start normal life and building ourselves, and they will not have the opportunity to steal money using Biafra project anymore. They now went ahead and kidnapped him. Suddenly, the only time it has worked for them to sell him was when ESN was established and the dragon flag was lifted. All this while, nobody dreamt of selling him because they felt the business was as usual. Even after he was arrested in 2015 and he was released in 2017, the business was going on because people kept contributing in Biafra land. People kept contributing all over the nations of the world. So contributions were coming here and there, and it was like business as usual. So all we need to be doing, keep shouting and protesting and making noise, and so that we can make more money from the politicians, make more money from the people, give the people false hope and all of that. These are strategies to keep the people down. So they felt that now that the dragon flag has been lifted and ESN has been created, it was a threat to their business. It was a threat to their business over materialism. Consciousness, yes, being conscious about material things. Our people are too materialistic. So now that we are saying we need a fresh start, a formidable structure, you'll see our people fighting that. People will come to insult you. People will come to abuse you. People will come to say so many things because they don't want things to work well. They don't want a structure that will be so transparent that they can steal from. And so when we bring such kind of ideas and when we bring such kind of narrative, when we bring such kinds of suggestion, you see them fight it. You'll see them fight it. People, including the ones you think that are pure, they fight transparency. Under the accountability and transparency group, didn't you see some group that came out to say that transparency and accountability group? Ask them why they left. Ask them why they break away. Because we insisted on transparency. It's not about coming on social media to say we are transparent, we are transparency, accountability. No, it is about what you do. It's not about coming to carry AK-47 and say we are going. No. What kind of nation are you looking for? What kind of nation are you looking for? You think you're going to get a nation of freedom, of true freedom, if you keep patronizing illegal structures? How can you buy illegal structures to build a formidable apartment? How can you buy wrong materials to build the right house? It's not possible. You can't think of building a skyscraper and you're going to go buy materials that will do for one-story building. Something is wrong with you. That means you want to die. Because as soon as you do that, it will crumble on your head and crush you. It will crush you. You can't talk about truth, a nation that is free from the spirit of Nigeria. You are using the materials that has been used to construct Nigeria as instruments or as materials for your own house or the nation you want to build. How? And this is where I want to talk to those of you who are truthful and who are on the path of truth, and those of you who are afraid that truth is weakness. Some of you think that when you stand on the path of truth, you are weak and you will become a target and you will become a victim. Let me tell you something. Truth requires force to be sustained. I want to make this known to every one of us so that you can understand that those who are fighting against the truth need to be dealt with. Those who are fighting against the truth must be put in check. And that is how we must come together as truthful people, get everything we need. First, the first thing you need to put in check for those who are in the path of lies, is your structure. Your structure will put them in check. One, they will not be able to steal. Two, they will not be able to get the resources by stealing to fortify themselves and to give themselves every defense they need. But what we do is that we allow thieves and criminals take over the show, and then they fortify themselves, get materials, and secure themselves using the takia of what we are looking for. Because what we are looking for, they tell you freedom. Freedom becomes takia. They are actually looking for control. They want to control you. They want to control the land. They want to be the ones calling the shots and be controlling matters, not because they want true freedom. Even if along the line they try to seek to get a total control, maybe along the line, when they get that nation will be subject to their militia. You can never get freedom in that kind of country. The foundation of everything in life is very essential. Now, by that statement from Ego, let me just say something from, let me just give you this analogy. In 2018, I was listening to, thank you so much, Ego. Thank you. I was listening to Pat Utomi, being interviewed on Channels TV, and he was speaking. Daniel Leze, good to have you. Thank you so much. Good day to you also. Thank you. Compliments of the weekend. I was listening to Pat Utomi 2018. For the first time I heard him say this. That was the first time I heard him say it was 2018 when he was trying to, when he was analyzing Nigeria. I think on one program on Channels Television. I've forgotten the program. I think it's this program that this guy, this partly talk show and comedy program that Oke Bakassi organizes on Channels TV. Yes, it was on that program. And Pat Utomi said something. Pat Utomi said something critical there that I want to draw strength from to analyze some stuff. He said something. He said that when they were fighting through NADECO and other groups, fighting for democracy and for Nigeria to be restored to democracy and all of that, they did all of that with all their strength. Some of them, you see somebody like Shoyinka and all those people were jailed at a point in time. Pat Utomi also and other people, were also having some kind of, and all of that. And they were just, doing all of that. You remember, if you remember those days of Nadeko and all of that, some of you who were born at that time and who were conscious of, who were already grown and that were conscious of life, then you remember Nadeko and all those campaign and all those street protests and all those, when Shomele there to do when he was in charge of labor, those kinds of campaigns and all of that, those things were happening those days. Now, those protests and all of that was meant to restore, especially after the issue of Abiola, after Abiola's death in July 1993 or 1994. I think Abiola died in 1995 also. I can't remember, but I remember the annulment of the election in 1993, June 12th. So now, Pastor Tommy was talking about those campaigns those days, and he said something. He said, after there was this transition under, what's the name of this man who have stolen so much from us, who was the interim president? No, not the interim president. Now, who was the one who was given after the death of Abacha? Somebody remind me, that man that has stolen so much from us, and now he uses a walking stick. I think you can remind me. I know you always remember his name. And somebody just remind me anyways, if you remember. Okay, MKO died in 1998 and Fela died in 1997. Yes, I remember. Fela died July 97, June 97 or July 97. MKO died June or July 1998. Yes, correct. Because I know it was not Shonekon. Shonekon was the interim president before. Okay, I'm talking about after Shonekon. Shonekon was after Abiola left. IBB left. Shonekon was put there as a show. Then Abacha now took over. After Abacha died, the next man who came, this man, Abdulsalami Abubakar. Yes, Abdulsalami Abubakar. During this transition, when the presidency was, yes, thank you so much, Stanley. Thank you so much for giving me that. Yes, Abubakar. Yes, Daniel too. Thank you so much. Now, when Abubakar and when he came, you know what happened? People like Patutomi and co felt that they have already completed their program by the protests, by demanding for, democracy and all of that. They thought they had completed their job. As soon as the military was organizing election, people like Patutomi sat back, and that's according to him. He said the good guys, they thought they were the good guys because they needed this freedom very quickly. But the wrong thing they did was that the good guys, those who thought that they can change Nigeria, the technocrats, those people who call themselves professionals, those who call themselves professors and all of that, who are being used to rig election now, all sat back at that period and allowed the same criminals whom they were trying to get away from power to now come to control the democracy. So the mistake they made was that they allowed these guys come over and took over the democracy, and they put somebody like Obasanjo, who was also a former military person, who is part of those people they were asking to leave. Obasanjo was brought in. Yeah, the military also designed Yaradua to be there. The military also designed somebody like this our brother from Niger Delta, according to what they call it. They say he's not Igbo. Billy Jonathan, they say he's not Igbo, he's Niger Delta. You see how they have made our people so foolish. They allowed the military to control the democracy they protested for. They allowed the military to design and put together all the information they needed and put the structure they needed for that particular democracy they were looking for. The military now set a structure that will favor their candidates, whether they are military or not. When you allow criminals set a structure towards a particular cause, they will control that cause to the end. And when that time comes, you will fight. By then, they have gained strength and structure. So, Pastor Tommy said now that why they are struggling, people like him now are struggling. They can't even come into power now without being endorsed by the military. Is because they allowed these people take the structure. They were now structured, well structured. They designed the structure. They set everything. They set the constitution, 1999 constitution and all of that. They set everything to suit the structure they wanted. So when they now were well seated and formidable, they now control the democracy that they, Patutomi and co, Wale Soyinka and co, Ganifa Ohimi and all of that, went for, protested for, asked for, fought for, went to jail for. These ones now came and controlled it. Now they are thinking that as good guys, then they have done their job. So all they needed to do is to sit by and watch, thinking that democracy is automatic. In the first place, they didn't understand that to be a good guy means to watch the program from beginning and to the end, which means from the time they were protesting and asking, they also should have known that they were operating under a very illegal structure called Nigeria, which means as Nigeria as it is automatic. If it is automatically a flaw, sorry, it is automatically flawed because it is not a legal structure. It is a British construct that is designed to keep corruption, sustain corruption, propagate corruption, and feed the world based on the corrupt program designed under the name Nigeria. Under the name Nigeria. Daniel is asking about Ken. Ken is there. Ken is there. He's doing his own beat the way he can. You know. So, Pat Tommy and Co. were fighting for something that should be in a sane society under illegality. They were fighting for legality, for a structure called democracy, using an illegal structure called Nigeria. So when that illegal structure was responding to them, the illegal structure was responding to them based on its illegality. So the illegal structure sustained the same people that have been put there to sustain the interests of the British. And so when they started arranging for democracy, they were arranging it according to the illegality called Nigeria. People like Pat Tommy didn't see it. People like Ganifa Emi didn't see it. They came on that platform. Ganifa Emi came on that platform to contest, and he was disgraced. He cried one time. You know why? This platform is illegal. Now I'm bringing this analysis from what Pat Tommy said, because he was saying something that the good guys sat by and allowed the criminals to take over. Now they are struggling to take over. And I'm telling him that they actually didn't look well. They were looking at the future without looking at the past. The past was that the entity they were fighting to have democracy was an illegal entity. So even fighting to get democracy in it means you still need the illegality to sustain what you are to endorse what you are fighting for. And if illegality will endorse what you are fighting for, then illegality will corrupt what you are fighting for to suit it, and then you will be there blind and not see it. That was how the democracy began, the so-called democracy. Now, this is 2023. How many years ago? 24 years ago or so. 24 years ago. Do you have democracy? No. Do you have the right guys there? You can never be, it can never be yours. You can only protest and fight for it. When the time comes, the guys who are in charge of the illegality will take control, because you are not armed. Now, let me bring this out of that. When good people think that they are going to fight for something that the bad people need arms to get, to wage war against the good people, when you allow the bad people have arms to defend or to take what belongs to you, and you think as a good guy or as a good person, you will sit by and watch them and think that protest and all of that will get it for you, just forget it, because the bad guys are already holding their weapons and they are ready to fight for what you are looking for. So let me tell you something. Truth is also a weapon. Truth takes up arms in the realm of the natural to fight. For instance, when God told the children of Israel to build a temple, he gave them weapons, right? He gave them instruments. In fact, I'm talking about the days of Ezra and Nehemiah. They were holding weapons with their right hand and building with their left. They were armed. Wale Soyinka and Co. and Patutomi were protesting or building, trying to build, but were not armed. Yet the stuff they were trying to correct, those in charge of that structure they were trying to correct, are very armed. Now let's bring it to today's stuff. Nothing is wrong with Ken, my brother. Just calm down. Ken is fine. Ken is fine. I think you know him on Facebook. Just check Ken Nnachukwu. You'll see him on Facebook. Send him a message. You can talk to him directly. You know, we are not. I cannot be speaking on his behalf on this platform. You know, he decided to go quiet, and I cannot tell you why he went quiet. I cannot. He didn't tell me anything. He just decided to go quiet and all of that. And so, of course, the best thing you can do is to approach him personally, as I would do personally also. You know, so I will not make his own matter a topic of discussion on platform like this, because only maybe he doesn't want to be discussed. He doesn't want it to be discussed. So I cannot be talking about why he didn't on a platform like this. Maybe he doesn't want it to be talked about. So if I want to talk to him, I'll talk to him privately. If you want to talk to him also, you talk to him privately, so that we can respect people's decisions and when they take decisions at a particular time. But I know he's doing fine. I know he's also strong, and also I'm expecting the right thing to be done, you know, and all of that. So so Ken is fine. Ken is fine. I know he's fine, but I cannot be discussing him here now because I don't know whether he will like it. So he's fine. He's still strong and also looking for Ken Nnachukwu. I think that's the name. So check for him on Facebook, then you can relate with him. But he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. We don't have issues. I don't have issues personally with him. You know, so he's fine. Any day he's ready, he might come up again. You might see him again. But sometimes people just decide to go down and just go quiet, you know, and all of that. You know, people just decide to go quiet. Ego is asking if you are a member. Please, you have to be a member of ATG because it is open for everybody. So it is open for everybody, and I will wish that you join so that we can be part of the family and work together. We're calling for Biafrans all over to come together. We need to set a structure, and it to take only professionals, people who are reasonable to do that. And with your submissions, your postings, and all of that, I know that you have something inside of you, Daniel. So definitely, these are the kind of mindset we want. People who can look at things constructively and say, yes, this is wrong, this is right. And when we all come together, we're going to do great wonders. I tell you, it only takes two people sitting under the tree to discuss a project, and it will materialize as long as they are firm and strong. And all they need to do is reach out to other people who are formidable, who have like minds, you know, and then they'll do things together. So we can always work together. So let's do that together. So Daniel, you can reach out, then, you know, Ego is asking which one he belongs. Daniel can say, I don't know. Daniel can tell where he belongs. I know Daniel is part of us anyways. As long as anybody who is supporting the right thing is part of us. It's just for you to join us formally and let's work together. Very, very important. Very, very important. We know that we have had lots of people relaxing these days, you know, because some people decided to want to destroy the accountability and transparency group from inside by introducing criminality, introducing illegality, and introducing lack of transparency. And we stood ground. We said, no, we have said it's going to be transparency and nothing else but transparency. And they decided to break out. They said they are no more part of transparency and accountability group because the group wanted to punish them by their acts and behavior. And of course, the group said they are going to be suspended. And as much as we were deliberating that fact of whether to have them suspended or not, they said they don't want to be part of it again, and they want to leave, and they don't want to be part of Biafra project again. They want to go and stay quietly on their own and not be part of anything that has to do with Biafra. In fact, one of them said that his wife has been disturbing him to stop, so this is the opportunity. He's no more interested in pursuing Biafra stuff. Then they left. Then suddenly we heard that they have gone to open another one, and then they begin to call it accountability and transparency. And then they came up and they said they are launching, they are doing this and all of that. That is rebellion. I keep saying it. And, Ego, yeah, you're correct. When you rebel, you are going to have the repercussion. That's why I keep, I'm not bothered. Because I know that once you are standing for the truth, there's nothing you can fear. You can't fear anything. The only thing is that just strategize and make sure that you do the right thing. Or else, if you don't do the right thing, if you're standing for the truth and you just sit by, watch the bad people keep on doing what they're going to do, you'll be held responsible in the future. What did you do? You standing on the path of truth, what have you done? But the truth about it is that there's nothing I can do without you. So we need to come together. That's why we're preaching this thing. And very interestingly, the structure set that we have set does not give room for anybody to steal. Neither does it give room for anybody to shine. It gives room for the group to take decisions. You can bring your fantastic idea, the group will subject it to reasoning, and they will take it or not take it, based on how formidable that idea can be for the group. So that is why it is fantastic. That is the unique thing, that's the unique pattern we need to get ourselves free. I can tell you, no matter, forget about all this show business they're doing on social media. I've told you that all we're seeing now is show business. It's show business. You see them carry one weapon, put it there, use phone camera, showcase it, put it on social media. They're telling you you're working, they're buying weapons. Somebody was saying that I'm now with Simon because Simon is buying weapons now. He's buying weapons of 15 million. He's buying weapons of this, that. And I said, how does that mean that you are getting your freedom? Because even if you are buying the whole weapons, in the first place, what is the structure of your organization? How did you begin it? Did you begin it in corruption? Which means that if I allow you to give me freedom, I'm in trouble. When Patutomi and Co sat down and watched guys start the process of the democracy they were longing for, how did they start it? They started it corruptly. Once mafias are in charge, they would always instill, they will always impute, they will always implement the program that will sustain their mafioso moves. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Of course, Daniel says automatically, of course, that's the truth. That's the truth. So automatically, Daniel is part of us, automatically. So Mirugo is an individual. Whoever he declares for, that's his personal decision. If he says he wants to work with Simon, no problems. We're not bothering those who are working with Simon. As long as we are concerned what we are saying in that place is not genuine. No, but nothing you can tell me that I can believe. No genuine person operates this way. No genuine person operates this way. No genuine person would fight truth. No genuine person will do that. No genuine person will fight the truth. I say it again. No genuine person will see people saying the truth and fight them. No. So if everything I see under them is, some people don't understand that there's some spiritual warfare going on in what we're doing. Serious spiritual warfare. If I tell you the kind of juju that is going on. So most people you see supporting people like Simon and other people, they're not supporting with their clear eyes. That's the truth. Because everything, one, the finances are going into private accounts. So that alone flaws that structure. That alone. You can't start a nation with criminality. It doesn't work. I gave you this instance of Patutomi. Patutomi said they protested, Patutomi, Ganifa, and other people. They sat by and watched these people, the same people they were trying to fight the Nigeria out of their hands. They sat by and watched these guys come into democracy, take root, and then hijack democracy. And of course, I have told you that whatever thing you think is good, something as democracy, as you hear, called democracy can never be as it's supposed to be when it is put on the platform of lies. It's not possible. It will be corrupted. So when you hear somebody saying Biafra, 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 doesn't mean that person is going to give you Biafra. Because as long as that person's structure is tantamount to Nigeria behavior and actions, what you are going to get automatically transmuted or translated or transmogrified or transplanted into the Biafra you are looking for or you think you are seeking for will be the same criminality, the same stealing, the same structural deficit. structural deficiency, structural balderdash, structural, there's a particular word I'm looking for. Structural confusion. Let me use this simple word. Structural confusion that will be transmuted into, look at it now, Patutomi and Co., Ganifa Emi and Co., all of them who were clamoring for a truthful Nigeria, a Nigeria of democracy. Where are they now? Patutomi is there watching. He cannot do anything now because he thought that protesting and all of that and asking for freedom or asking for democracy would actually give him the right, will give him the right life to live. Not knowing that when you are seeking for something good, you must make sure that you involve in the structure. You must take cognizance of the structure. Because if the structure is not well designed, it will automatically mean that in the long run, those who are claiming to give you that thing you are seeking for would implement what they have in heart. That means the Biafra we will look for will be a Biafra where the finances will not be transparent, where the structure will be about my person and what some individuals want, where the order of the day will be that people are imputing and ask and demanding and doing what they want to do. Sorry, Daniel says, Mazi, we need to do something very important because people are confusing. They keep on asking which accountability group I belong to. What can we do to differentiate our ATG to these criminal ATG? Now, Daniel, aside the accountability and transparency group is the slogan because it is what characterizes us. But the name we are operating with is Eastern Sunrise. So when you see accountability and transparency group, what differentiates it is Eastern Sunrise. Eastern Sunrise. That's what differentiates it. So anytime, that is what we do. Anytime we post, if you go to the website, you see Eastern Sunrise, Accountability and Transparency Group. So that accountability and transparency group is differentiated with Eastern Sunrise. Eastern Sunrise is that NGO aspect of us that have been registered, or the process is being completed now, which we are going to use as the main house or the main instrument to develop the communities in Biafra land. Honestly, I tell you, the plan we have with that program to establish a well-developmental program in Biafra land is too wonderful. It's too wonderful. Very sustainable plan, very easy plan that will give us results very quickly. So whatever accountability and transparency group that you have heard, let me tell this moron here. Anyways, let me just believe that you don't know anything. So I have to lecture you. Manu Anu. Okay, Manu Anu. Okay, that's what you are oil of meat. Okay, now let me educate you. Every nation is sustained by its economy. The reason why you eat every day is because you need strength, right? What do you use in buying the food you eat? Money, right? Now, let me tell you what finance does. Finance is the strength of economy. That is why when we were talking about the currency, we were particular about the faces that are on the currency. Whenever you talk about a group of people, you talk about how they manage themselves, and what they need to manage themselves is money. So if you cannot be transparent with money, that's why Jesus said something. Let me not call him Jesus. Let me call him Yehoshua, because that's what he is. Because I don't know what Jesus means and what they mean by that Jesus that they bring. Let me tell you what Yehoshua said. He said of God and mammon. Mammon means money. That means there are two things here involved. It's either you are serving mammon or you are serving the truth. Now, when you find, the only way you know when people are serving mammon is how they utilize the funds that are involved. Now, did you know, let me remind you, that Yehoshua was sold for money. Did you know that? Yehoshua was sold for money. Everything that have been done in life is with money. So when money is being talked about, You are talking about the because money represents every operational activity. Why do you go to work every day? To make money, because money helps you carry out activities. Money is what energizes you. Money is what you use in sustaining, implementing, developing, and carrying out your objectives. So when we talk about money, we are actually talking about the whole ways of the structure, the whole operational ways of the structure. So if you say why I'm talking about money, I've given you a little education now. If you are not particular about how your funds are used, why are you shouting today that Tinubu has removed subsidy? It's not because of money. Yeah, I don't know how you guys reason. You say, why am I particular about money? Because money is the only avenue. What else will people steal from you? When they steal your crude oil, it's because they want to make money. Whatever they steal from you, they want to take it from you because they want to make money. And money has been the root. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love, not money. The love. When you find a people who cannot manage your funds well and who cannot tell you what they are using your funds for, just know that that is an evidence that you are going to have a structure that is malfunctional, that is malapropos, that is deficient. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. What else do you need to answer? What else do you want from the answer? What else do you want? Look, can you imagine? Say I'm not answering the question. What's the question? The question is, why are you always particular about money, right? Let me look at, because I want to educate you, because I know you are very, very, very unintellectual. Why are you so concerned about finance and how much have you contributed? Oh, you're asking me how I've contributed. You are very stupid for asking me that question. What I'm doing, can you do it? You're asking me how much I've contributed. Must I contribute money for me to tell you about how to use money when you don't have sense? Your children that you give food, how much do they contribute? If you have children, if you even have one, if you have a family, money is supposed to be managed. You don't ask somebody how much have they given before they. So let me ask you a question. In Nigeria, you're asking your local government, you're asking those people to give you accounts of what they are spending. You're asking Tinubu, you are saying Tinubu stole your money and all of that. How much have you contributed? And no man. You're asking me how I've contributed. The same narrative they keep talking over and over. There's no sense asking how much have you contributed. I'm giving you analysis of what should be done right so that you don't lose your life. You are here asking me how much I've contributed. So I should tell you how much I've contributed. Can you pay me? Do you know how much I've contributed? You're asking me how much I've contributed. Can you pay me? Even this work I'm doing now, can you pay me? Do you know how much we would collect from just speaking? I'm talking about professionals. I'm a professional speaker, if you don't know. Do you know how much it takes to pay? I'm doing all of these things free of charge. That alone is free of charge. So don't come here to tell me nonsense. Don't ask me nonsense questions. I've lectured you. If you cannot ask Simon to the account of the resources of the monies he's taken from you and the monies he's taken from Biafrans, then you are daft. You don't even require Biafra. You need Nigeria. You need to continue in Nigeria. The only difference between Nigeria and Biafra is that Nigeria, all the characteristics of Nigeria will not be spoken or will not be adopted and will not be brought into Biafra. That is what makes Biafra and Nigeria different. So if you think that you want to get Biafra and you want to have all the elements of Nigeria, the same way nobody can ask questions, the same way people are stealing, the same way people are corrupt, the same way people are just doing anything they like, the same way the president comes and gives you information and just tells you anything he wants to tell you and does not fulfill it, the same way they come in politics and they give you promises and they don't fulfill it, the same process. You cannot ask questions. You don't know what is happening. You don't know how the resources have been spent. All you hear on media is that they have caught somebody with so billion in their account. They have caught so person billions in their account. That's all you hear, and all you do is come on social media and read the story and shake your head and say, oh, Nigeria. If that is what you want to achieve, you can never get it. But Tommy said, he said, when they were protesting and asking for democracy to come, they thought they had already fulfilled their mission. So 1999, they all start back. And before they know it, people like Obasanjo and co came into power. They took over power. Now they said something critical. But Tommy said critical. He said, they that claim to be the good guys sat back and watched criminals take over. But now let me expand it for him and expand it for you, those of you who don't understand. Now, when Tommy and co were fighting When Patson and Co were fighting for Nigeria, they were fighting for Nigeria, but not understanding that Nigeria itself is an illegality. Even if they understood, they never understood it in the context of intellectualism. They understood it on the platform of academics. That's all. They just knew by what they have learned, by what they have read and all of that. They just knew that Nigeria is a corrupt entity, British program, corrupted and all of that, being used to extort the people and bringing nations together, amalgamating them without their consent, and of course, stealing their resources and all of that. That is academic. But translating academic knowledge into intellectual programs and into practical intellectual activities is a different thing. It takes someone who is intellectual to actually understand the narrative that an academic knowledge conveys. Because an academic program actually carries basic information necessary for your intellectual capacity. And if you're able to understand your intellectual place in analyzing academic programs or academic knowledge, you will end up messing yourself up, becoming more stupid, because everything you will do will be critically messed up because you don't place it on the platform of reasoning. So what Patutomi and Co did was this. They were talking about Nigeria. They already knew. These are academic men. They had this academic knowledge. They knew that Nigeria was flawed. They knew Nigeria was a British construct, but they thought that it could be managed. They thought it could be, they just wanted to, they just wanted Nigeria to work. Hey, at least we are one. Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, all of us coming together. We are one. So working in one, in unity, because they recited during the academic knowledge, and the anthem they recited during academic knowledge has destroyed their mentality. Their mental faculty had gone haywire and out of place. So all they did was this. They were just chasing shadows. They were chasing hallucination. They were chasing mirages. They were chasing illusion and all of that. They were hallucinating. So what happened? They were working for democracy under Nigeria, which is an illegal structure. They were not looking for democracy in a structure that is original, that is national, that is formidable, that is truthful. They were looking for democracy. They were looking for a program for the people, of the people, by the people. They were looking for such kind of program in illegality, whereas illegality needs totalitarianism to survive. Illegality requires autocracy to survive. All you need to sustain illegality is autocratic approach system. That's all you need. That is why you see what is happening today in Nigeria. They can carry out an election, and carrying out the election, somebody would, the so-called law court will tell you that yes, he has won, whether you like it or not. The Fulanis would sit down with their political friends from the other parts, the other regions, and decide what they want, settle the ones they will settle, pay them, and use some of them even to criticize what they have decided. Do you know they do that? They make a decision. There are some other people who will criticize it so that it will look like a balanced thing now. So it won't look like there is, everybody's agreeing. It will like someone like Peter Obi now will look like he is fighting. He wants to fight. We are fighting for democracy. He has been settled. That is why he keeps telling you to calm down. Let's face the court, because he knows they own the courts. They know what to do with the courts. In the end, when they get to Supreme Court, he will tell you, okay, don't worry. Next time, 2007 is close. Because the Supreme Court now, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, would give their verdict. Also, or even if it is the next 1 year or none of that. And all you will do is brag and shout on social media. And then they tell you, wait for 2027. This time around, we're going to give it to you. In fact, Peter Obi will tell these people, this time around, we have shown them here now that we shook them very well. Now, this time around, we're going to do it well. We're going to do it well. That's how it is. So, Pat Utomi and Co. were just wrong because They didn't apply their intellectual side. Now, they now came into the so-called democracy. That democracy is being controlled by the same people who are the colonial stooges. They were expecting things to change, not knowing that what they should have done is, as much as they were chasing for democracy then, they should have also had a program of deciding what they will do to change. Even if you have to say, okay, we Yorubas, Hausas, and all of that stay together, which of course it's impossible, because the North and the Fulanis have shown you that it is impossible for you to stay together. What the Fulanis are doing have shown you that it is impossible. That's, if it were the Yorubas, maybe you can stay together, but you still have problems, because everybody wants their region to be in charge. Which the best thing is that you just separate. So what they should have done, Patutomi and Co., what they should have done then, as much as they were fighting for democracy, they would have set a structure that as the democracy is coming in, they were taking control. And once they are taking control, the first election, they would use it as a means of setting up a structure by the people they are going to bring into the system, who would now go to the National Assembly and decide to create a regional system. That regional system, every region will be on its own. They can have a central point. That would have helped in a way. Everybody controlling their region. If Patutomi and Co. had done that, by now, it would have been better. So all they did was they wanted the old narrative of Nigeria to continue. We won Nigeria. I pledged to Nigeria, my country, to serve Nigeria with to defend her unity. That illusion, unity that they learned in school, from primary school, from nursery school, to defend her unity, had destabilized their intellectual side. And so they were busy. All those e-frogs, I like them. Just leave them to keep posting the e-frogs. You know what frogs do? Frogs just hop everywhere. You know, frogs don't have sense. They just jump everywhere and comment. So that is good for them. Let them keep commenting. And as they keep commenting, they keep seeing their stupidity. Because in the midst of their commenting, they will know that they are stupid. So leave them to comment. I think there are two of them here who are the e-frogs. So, in Biafra project, now let's bring it to what we're doing. In Biafra project, yes, I'm ignoring them, of course. I'm just because I saw you post. That's why I just said something about them. E-frogs, of course. I enjoy their company sometimes. E-frogs. Now, in Biafra project, one thing you should be assured of is this: Biafra wants to come out of an illegal entity, which is Nigeria. And because Biafra is inside of that illegal entity, it has been corrupted. The people have been bastardized. They have been robbed with the oil of criminality, the oil of stupidity, the oil of senselessness, the oil of hopelessness, the oil baptized in the water of corruption. I'm talking about baptized in, not the sprinkling. They put them inside, drenched. And so that Biafra you are seeking has been put inside a contaminated chemical called Nigeria. And that chemical has permeated by I think what's the osmosis and diffusion. Which one is the lower concentration to the higher concentration, and the higher concentration to the lower concentration? Also, somebody can remind me. Let me see whether all these e-frogs, whether they will know the difference between diffusion and osmosis. Because when they please let me see, e-frogs, please, can you tell me the difference between osmosis and diffusion? Because I know that all you guys know is to just come and just insult people, but you don't have anything upstairs. I give you 2 minutes. If you have it, all these ifrogs before you go and check dictionary and start wanting to post it, because I know I need to time you. Ifrogs, tell me the difference between osmosis and diffusion that you learned. I know some of you, when we're not staying in class, when they were teaching you other subjects in school, and if you cannot grab academic knowledge, then what's your intellectual? Of course, it's not about academic knowledge anyways, but of course, because your intellectual side was already dead, you didn't even appreciate the fact that you needed some academic knowledge. And so you couldn't have a balance, you know, you didn't access academic knowledge, you couldn't harness intellectualism. So what are you? You are worse than Nigeria. So Ifrogs, Pali D, and Anu, please, can you tell us what the difference between osmosis? I've given you assignment now so that you can begin to, begin to have sense from giving you assignments like this that will challenge your intellectual side and your academic side. You begin to think right. I give you that assignment. Now, because Biafra has been put inside of that thing, because Biafra has been put into that corruption and has absorbed corruption, liquid and penetrates and all of that, Biafra has absorbed corruption. We have people like this Ifrogs here because of that corruption coming from Nigeria. When you showcase reality to them, it looks like you are bringing something strange, different. When you bring transparency, accountability to them, it's like, what is this? We don't need all of this stuff. All we need to do is just glory in our stupidity, embrace and glorify men, praise men, and continue the narrative of stupidity. That's what happens. So what Patitomi and Co needed to do is this, and what any Biafra and freedom fighter would do, which Mazi Nnamdi has done so strongly, but the people were not following. They kept on hailing, they kept on praising, they kept on embracing the evils. They were so academic about what Mazi Nnamdi was teaching than intellectual. That is one of the features inherited from Nigeria. You get academic about information. So everything that they were hearing from Mazi Nnamdi was academic. It's just like somebody who goes to recite, who can recite 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4. It's just academic. But how do I apply the narrative from 2 times 1, 2, anyways, into life? That's another different thing. Because if you say 1, 2 times 1, 2 is 2, then in life, what is the implication of 2 times 1 making 2? I want to ask Paddy D, what is the implication? Adamu, like you, what is the implication of 2 times 1, 2 in life? How do you translate it or give a figurative analysis of 2 times 1, 2 into life, into activities of life? You don't know. So Biafra is being fought for, but nobody is thinking of, just like what Patitomi and Co did. They didn't think of how they were going to get. They didn't follow it up with the right approach. There was no plan. They were using the plan of Nigeria, the constitution designed by the corruption, the program set by the corruption. They were using it as a means of planning for a democracy. The same people will come and tell you that our constitution is flawed. The problem we have is the constitution. Didn't you know that before you started campaigning for democracy? Didn't you know that the constitution was flawed before you started protesting for democracy? You knew the constitution was flawed. You knew it was the Fulanis that wrote the constitution. You knew they put sacks together to write the constitution. So how come you are complaining about the constitution? Just like those ones who went for Tinubu and all of that, Peter Obi and Co. They knew Tinubu don't have certificate. They knew all of this while. They never talked about it. They went to compete with the same man they said don't have certificate. You competed with him. Now they have declared him victorious. You are now complaining that he doesn't have certificate. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Tinubu does not have certificate. You knew all of this while. You still went in to compete with him in a so-called election. And now you are coming to tell me that because he has been declared a winner, you have to use that as a weapon against him in court. For God's sake, you are a criminal. Why didn't you speak about it and say, no, I'm not going into this election because the person you are bringing for this election is a criminal? Because the person you are bringing is not right. Is not according to the law. He has foiled the law. Because by the constitution, by the electoral act, he's supposed to have a certificate. But he doesn't have it, so I can't compete with him, because if I compete with him, I am justifying and endorsing his candidacy by competing with him. It's logic. It's logic. Logic. By if I say that you are not my level, for instance, those of you who always claim people are not on your level, and you still take that person who's not on your level to go and do a work which that person, is not on the same level with you, and the person destroys the work. In the first place, how do you want to blame the person when you go to court? You knew he's not capable. You knew he's not competent. You knew he's not on your level. You took him into the job, and now you want to blame him when you knew that he doesn't have the facilities or the capacity to do the job. You lose it. Tinubu didn't have certificate, but you decided to compete with him. And when now he's declared election, the victor, you now say he doesn't have certificate. It doesn't make sense. Patutomi and Co, Ganifa Oemi and others, Wole Soyinka and all of them protested, wanting democracy in something that is flawed. They knew the 1999 constitution was flawed. They knew the constitution that was being presented to have democracy on was flawed. They still were asking for democracy without asking for that constitution to be dealt with. Let's just assume they want to pretend to first get democracy so that they use it as a weapon of dealing with the constitution. They still didn't set the right structure to have the men and themselves take over the democracy. Rather, they allowed the same the same military politicians and the same corrupt people connected to those military people to be voted into office, and still allowing the same corrupt people who are in charge of Nigeria to be in charge. Those ones now, of course, the constitution is their weapon to sustain the criminality. And then they now allow these people to take control. Now they are complaining that the mistake they made was that they allowed bad guys to take over. That the mistake they made was that the 1999 constitution is illegal. You knew the 1999 constitution is illegal or is not good, is bad. Why then allow that constitution and fight for democracy in that kind of with that kind of constitution? The same way some of us here are asking for Biafra. You are saying you don't want anything that has rubbed off on Biafra in Nigeria to be part of the Biafra as much as you bring it out of that can or that chemical called Nigeria, that destructive chemical. You want to bring it out and you want to clean it up and use it. And the water and the chemical you want to use to wash this Biafra you have taken away from this Nigeria chemical is still the same, having the same element of the chemical or the components of the chemical that Nigeria has. The chemical you are trying to use to clean up Biafra is still made up of the same ingredients or chemical composition that is in the chemical that Nigeria is. How do you marry that? And you are and the same thing when Biafra comes, for instance, they will say, that our constitution is not right. Our constitution is this. Our constitution is that. or what we are, the way we are doing, the way we are treating people is not right. People don't have their voice. People cannot say the truth again. People are like, they are stealing our monies. They are not telling us account. They are not giving us account of Biafra. Biafra's resources are not being accounted for. Blah, blah, blah. But you were fighting to sustain that habit and that spirit. Where does a normal person castigate or fight somebody or abuse somebody who is asking for accountability? Where does it happen? Doesn't it show that some of you are under spell? Doesn't it show that some of you are under spell? That people are asking, we want things to be done transparently so that the nation we are getting will be built on transparency. You, as a normal human being, claim to be normal, come up and begin to insult the president. Doesn't it show that something is wrong with you? The same person is the one who fought against the same person who is asking for accountability, and his group are the ones who fought against. Critically, I was the one who exposed the issue of their faces being on the currency. Critically also, they told me my face will be on the one of the coin. And I said, no, you can't put your face on the currency. You know why? I am trying to sustain Biafra in truth. You can't just put any face on America currency, or even Saudi currency, or even Togo currency, or even Cambodia currency. You can't put any face. The smallest nation and the most corrupt nation, you can't just put any face on it. And yet people want to criminally put their face, and I stood against it. Now, you that is normal, that claim that you want justice, you want fairness, you want transparency, you want accountability, you are coming to fight the person who is trying to fight or take away that corruption that is coming from Nigeria. We are standing on the path of truth, and we will continue on that path of truth. Nothing will stop it. And mind you, if you think Biafra will come in corruption and lies, you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your time, oh, because there's nothing like Biafra unless truth is established. Because whatever you get will still be Nigeria, even if the name is different. That's it. Whatever you get will still be Nigeria. You see, you don't skip you take a step, don't skip the first point. The first point here is instilling truth, installing truth and transparency and accountability. That is the first step to whatever we want. If truth and accountability and transparency is not installed, whatever program you are doing is a waste of time, because you would end up getting something worse than Nigeria. If you are not discreet enough, if you are not meticulous enough to pursue the structure first, to say that what we want is truth, accountability, and transparency. Suspend anything. Give us a tablet. Let's view what we have on ground. The resources we have. How are we managing them? The human resources, the financial resources, how are we managing them? Oh, this money you are putting in somebody's account, that is wrong. Change it now. Bring it to normal. Do the right thing. Set the structure right. Truth stands, it has no duplicate. My regret is Biafrans are very difficult to convince because they have seen Simon as their Messiah. They see truth. They see truth, but they refuse to follow. Very pathetic. Mokoko. Mad people everywhere. Daniel. Let me tell you, Daniel, until those who are standing on the path of truth would begin to hammer this thing and stand on that path of truth. As I'm talking to you, that is why you see I don't relent. You know why? What I'm doing now, you might think it's not. Some people are reasoning, they're thinking. Even some of these people who are frogs, they are changing. Some of them are thinking, I need to get out of this froggy business. Including the people, you see, some of them go back to think. But you know why they are struggling? Because they are human praisers. Oh, I like this person. Oh, I don't like this person. I like this person. Oh, action, action, action. We want action. When action is void of truth, you are heading towards disaster. Let me tell you something. If you don't take care of the structure we're having in Biafra land, everything will become a Biafra will become a mafia land where you're going to have different mafia groups. You see, Chinasa has his group, Simon has his group, everybody having their group, all of them committing crime, criminality, kidnapping, and all of that. And somebody's jubilating, saying, Simon is buying weapons. Now Simon is doing the right thing. This is what I wanted. How? Buying weapons doesn't, showing you my weapons on social media and buying weapons doesn't mean that I'm on the right track. Doesn't mean you're on the right track. The person who is buying the weapons told you was going to stop election. He didn't stop election. The person who is buying the weapons told supposed to set a standard by making sure that the monies people are contributing are accounted for. Rather, he chose to allow them to both the Nigeria account and the America account, all of them in somebody's name, Azuka's name. Azuka is the owner of the Nigeria account. Azuka's husband is the owner of the account in America. All these things are not put in place, which means what you are having is stealing, corruption, criminality. Azuka tells who is going to die. She tells who's going to leave. Simon tells who's going to die. Simon tells who's going to leave. They kidnap, they kill, they do whatever they want to do. That's the people they claim to be fighting for. And you are here telling me you want to get Biafra because you want action. Because you are seeing action, that means you are getting Biafra. So all these actions that have been happening all this while, we have Oji, who have been carrying out action, dancing around Biafra land. We had this BNL before even Simon came and all of that. They have been doing all their things in the borders, carrying out action. We had the militias or the Asari Dokubo and Tompulo and all of that. They have been doing some stuff. Some of them talking about liberation of their land and Ijola and all of that. All the activities all these years. Don't you ask yourself the questions, why have these things not given result? Why is it that when Mazi and Kanu was now establishing things, setting up things in the right dimension, suddenly he was kidnapped? Why is it that when he started coming strong on the criminality, talking against the people, telling them if they don't stand on the truth, deciding to stand vehemently on the truth, pushing the narrative of the truth, setting up ESN, suddenly he was kidnapped? I say to your prayers, Ego, to all of them, the spirit of Biafra hunts them. Why? Ask yourselves the truth. Ask yourself that simple question. The worst thing that can happen to any people is to think that they could keep doing the same thing over and over, and that's a different result. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. If some of you now, if you are asked, why are you insulting Kelechi? What are you going to say? Because he's against Simon. That's all. Why is he against Simon? What's the answer? He's challenging Simon. He's telling Simon to give account. Or he's telling Simon to that he should give account. And he's saying Simon didn't stop the election. Is it not true? Has he given you account? Did he stop the election? Why? Martin and the said, why do you guys like lying to yourselves? Why? Why? Because his name is Simon. Oh, that means when somebody else show up tomorrow and begin to carry out action, and then the person, oh, we have seen another saint. Human worshippers. Very shameless sort of people, honestly. You're just human worshippers. All you do is when a name comes out and just do abracadabra to your face, you get carried away. You start following. Oh, that's my man. No, nothing. Not if like that's my man. Foolishness. That's extreme foolishness. We're not that kinds of people. We reason. That's why you see us here. You see those who are here on the path of truth posting. They reason. We're not e-frogs. They reason because they have to subject everything analytically to reasoning. You can't tell me you are going to establish a credible structure in Biafra when you're freedom fighting, you are stealing the monies. You are not able to give me account. you are not able to tell the people what you have used their monies, all these one for, the ones you said you are collecting for to stop the election. You can't tell me, how can you give me Biafra when you are not a truthful person? You tell me you're going to do this, you're going to stop oil lifting, you're going to stop no roadblock, no, from today henceforth, no roadblock. I mean, every roadblock is from today henceforth, no lifting of oil in Biafra land. From today henceforth, we have changed it. We have gotten all the materials we need to stop election in Biafra land. We have bought everything, including when we were having meeting. He said, oh, that everything is set. Everything is set to stop the election. You cannot tell me the truth. Is it when we get Biafra? How would you even get me Biafra? Not being truthful. The only solution is for every one of us to come together and decide to set up that structure that will give us what we want. That's the only solution. Or else, as Mazi and Kanu said, you keep moving around in circles. You know what we call circumnavigating? Go and check the word circumnavigation. Just moving. When a ship is on sea, on sea, not in sea. When a ship is on sea, or at sea, sorry, not even on sea. Sorry for that proposition, wrong one. At sea, when a ship is at sea, it keeps, when it goes around and goes around and goes around and goes around and then comes to that point where it began again and goes around. That's circumnavigation. Circumnavigating. It doesn't have a destination. It doesn't have. You keep dancing around in trillion years. Hey, we don't buy weapon. Hey, we don't buy AK-47. Hey, we buy one weapon. They call it it's 15 million. Hey, we buy one. They call it 10 million. Hey, we just bought another one. Hey, we are making Hey, see our men. Hey, see them. They wear uniform. Oh, they look at the chain gun. Look at everything. Wow, look at the magazine. Look at everything. Wow, wonderful. Oh, look at the weapons. Look at the guns. You are circumnavigating. You keep jubilating, hoping elusively on nothing. Let's wait. Daniel, we're waiting. We're going to see that flag on front of the house. We're going to see that coat of arms up there, as they said, and on the right-hand side, top right-hand side. We're going to see everything, and we're going to see them start using that place effectively with all these things on that house, and including the one they said the liaison offices they talked about. We are waiting for all of them to be operating from those liaison offices. By now, all of them are supposed to be operating from those liaison offices. Thank you so much, Daniel. Instead of investing the money into ESN, buying their weapons, using that money to buy weapons, and stop that election. If that election had been stopped using the monies, you can't keep the monies and say you are using it to rent places, to open up. Why? What is your intention? The money is supposed to equip ESN. You staff them. You refuse to give them funds. We called meeting. Come. These people are not being funded. You run away because you know you cannot defend yourself. Rather, you come online to blackmail the people who are calling you for a meeting privately. Everything being done privately, he comes up publicly too because he wants to expose. He thinks he wants to expose. Not knowing that he's just exposing himself. You don't fight truth and remain the same. No, you can't remain the same. Just watch it. Just watch it. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys very well. I appreciate you guys. I want to leave you with these words. If you like, do everything. Get all the weapons. If you don't have truth as your foundation, you will get something worse than Nigeria. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to send that message to those e-frogs who are sending me messages here and telling me that they still believe in having a wrong structure and getting result. You can't have a wrong structure and get result. It's not possible. Whatever you get, even if you want to call it Biafra, it will be worse than Nigeria. To be a land of militia. You know what is happening in Haiti now, in Cambodia, where militias, different kinds of militias, are controlling different territories. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be worse than Nigeria. That's just the truth. So if you don't think of the criticalness of sustaining the structure now and making sure that the structure is set aright, If you think that your freedom revolves around one man's activity, telling you whatever he's telling you from wherever he's sitting in Finland or wherever they are sitting, whether in Kuwait or wherever they are, all these people see in different places like Switzerland and all those places, Kuwait and Finland, sitting there commanding you guys here and telling you guys to go and do this and do that, go and kidnap here, go and steal there, go and do that, show bring some men, put them together, put the weapons, we're buying one weapon, put the weapon in front of you, snap pictures, showcase it, do a little video, send to us, let's broadcast it. If you think that's the way you're going to get your freedom, we'll see. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Ego. Thank you for your messages. Thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you so much, you guys who are on the path of truth, who have sent their messages, who have engaged the e-frogs here. And thank you so much, all. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. And Daniel, we're hoping to have you to work with us, so we'll work together and get our results. We are hoping to get every Biafran. Please like this video and share on all your social media platforms. Like it, share on all your platforms. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. We need to propagate this truth, and gospel must spread. We need to do it. It is time for us to do it. We need to. It is time. We won't sit like Pastor Tommy and co and allow things to pass our face, and then tomorrow we say, but if we knew, we would have known. We need to do something. Not just talk about it, but do something about it. Because if you don't know that the good guys can also be very brutal in flushing off bad things, flushing out the evil, then you have to know that now. And this is the time to get ourselves together to do the right thing. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. So share. Please share on all your social media. Let the people hear this message. People need to hear this. That is why I don't want to make it so long again, so that we can keep broadcasting this thing. And tomorrow morning, hopefully by 12 noon, Biafra time, I'll be here, and I'll be speaking also. I don't know. Some people might be in church, but later you can watch it. I know people will always watch later. Some people refuse to watch again because they believe so much in criminality. But anyways, the truth will be sustained, and will be sustained. No going back on the truth. The truth is our watchword. It's our lighthouse. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Real good. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and stay safe, stay secure. Those in Biafra land, be careful of those criminals moving around and killing themselves. Be careful in your community and all of that. Don't say anything. Don't talk about anything. Just stay quiet, hoping God will help us. We're going to get it right. We're going to get a result. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. God bless you. Real good.